Hey my Legion, how y'all doing today? I want to do a review of the 100 grand bar and actually tell you how it relates to my time in Germany. Because there's a story about it, an army story, a slight one, but I mean it does relate. When I was in Germany, like I said in the other video, I was pretty much in 4 different places. Worms, Germany was just the Air Force base for a couple days. You know, could you arrive in a big, the airport, and there's an Air Force base right there. And it's, they have a barracks there. And we were there I was there for a couple days before finding out where exactly I was going to get sent to. Because they didn't know where they wanted to put me at. And that was true with a lot of people, because they just get sent to Germany and then they wait. They get sent a whole bunch of different places. I know one guy ended up getting sent to Italy. And I still got sent to Germany, right? And I got sent to Bremerhaven. I mean, I was part of the 581st Signal Company in Germany. Sent to Bremerhaven, which is the main 581st headquarters. There for about a week. Then I got sent to Garlstedt, Germany. Well, in Bremerhaven, it was the Karl Schulz concern, and in Linderhof, in Garlstedt was Lucius Clay concern. And that's where I was almost most of the time I was in the Army. I mean, every so often I'd go back to Bremerhaven. Or I'd go to Bremerhaven like a special day to do shopping, stuff like that. Because they had they had some different items and stuff. It was kind of cool going shopping in Bremerhaven so often. Go up there, because they had buses to go back and forth. And there were times I got called up to Bremerhaven to do work there too. But pretty much I was in the small division they had in Linderhof. In Garlstedt. Now what happened was, I was there for a little while, then they said you had to go to Howe Academy, which something every soldier goes to. I didn't know about it. They said that I wasn't registered, I didn't know anything about it, and they said I went there 2 weeks. It was like, and they teach about German culture and stuff like that. And then I got out of that, and then like a week later, they weren't exactly sure where to fit me in, and they sent me to PLL TAMS class in Linderhof, Germany. Now that's where Linderhof comes into play. And whereas like Bremerhaven had a lot of stuff around it, and Garlstedt was like a little city. Linderhof was in the middle of nowhere, and people would spend their whole time there, like 2 years. So I'd go nuts. There was the PX was a little room that was offered that sergeants ran, and they would run that thing. But you'd have to go, and they would unlock it at certain times, and if you wanted to do a little shopping, and that's it. I never went outside. I was only there 2 weeks. I never went outside the post. But Linderhof was famous for having guard dogs. And, because I was at mainly just the barracks. I didn't, I was just there PLTM teaching the barracks. I didn't go to their other place of work. But they had guard dogs there. I did go there and ask for the key to the break room a few times. I did see the guard dogs there. You didn't want to mess with them. But it was world famous for having guard dogs. It's the only place that had guard dogs. On the only U.S. post in Germany that had guard dogs, right? Well, anyways, there was a big giant place where you'd walk into in Linderhof, and I remember there was this guy, my roommate Knight. His name was Knight, and then like later on there would be like, it was supposed to be like for 2 people, but they had like a whole bunch of bunks, and it was weird. The whole 2 weeks we got more people. There was like 6 or 7 people living in that 2-man bay. It was real weird. But I was the main guy, because the other one else came like, because I was driven down like on a Friday night. I stayed the weekend, and then other people started coming like on Sunday, And then during the weekend they'd go wherever they had to go and stuff. I stayed there the whole 2 weeks, and then they picked me up the next day after 2 weeks after I finished my training. Well, my friend Knight, he got in trouble for getting because they would test you every month, or I don't know if it was every now in like AIT or BAE, they test you every month for drugs and stuff like that. P test you. Now I think in Germany it might have been every 3 months or something like that. He got busted, and he got Article 15, and basically what he was confined to post. Basically what happened with the drill sergeant, he had like duty on the post, and he had to paint this giant hallway. I mean, by hand, like on land. I'm afraid of heights. I'd be scared to do that, right? And then he'd be done the drill sergeant say, I don't like this color, paint another color. And I guess he was sentenced to do this for like 3-4 months or something like that. Well, anyways, in this big hallway, there was an old-fashioned candy vending machine, and that was the one that they're all so different now, but this is the one that had like the booth, and they had like these clear glass chutes that had like the full of the candy bar right in there. And then there's a 100 grand bar. Like, oh man, I haven't had one in a long time, so I decided to get one, and that was the last time I had one until today. So I haven't had a 100 grand bar since September of 1988. So I haven't had one in a long time. Now I was at the bank, and they had a thing of candy and stuff like the trick or treat. I just looked in there because I was getting ready to catch my check, and they had 100 grand bars. So heck, I'd like to review this for the channel, and I got one. I actually got Babe Ruth too, which I've never done a Babe Ruth on the channel either, so I'll do that eventually. But I wanted to do the 100 grand because I had that nice, really cool story, Army story behind that. So I haven't had one of these since September 1988. Because every so often you might have a story behind like a certain item. A couple of candy bars I have a story behind, like Reese's Pieces, of course. Like I mentioned in the MRE review, was like the brilliant product placement from the movie E.T. Because they remember Ellie had those little Reese's Pieces, and E.T. would get. And then after that, everyone wanted Reese's Pieces. And then later on, they had the worst marketing campaign, which was the E.T. video game from Atari, which I never got, which was a huge flop. And there was a documentary about that on Netflix I remember reviewing. I watched with my dad, about they had a big landfill filled with those cartridges because they couldn't get rid of them. And also, there was like a story behind the whatchamacallit bar. Because I remember when they first introduced that, and they did commercials, and then I tried one. I had a story about that too. And not as big as this one. But without further ado, I'm going to try the 100 grand bar. Haven't had one since September 1988, so let's see if it's any good. And this is Nestle, because usually there's lots of candy bars. There's some candy bars out there you don't hear about that much anymore. And like people don't, there's some probably have some fans, but a lot of times people don't get them, or you just don't hear anything about them. Usually like Snickers, Milky Way, M&M's, and Reese's peanut butter cups and stuff like that. But I haven't heard anyone talk about a 100 grand bar in a long time. And the one girl at the bank said she had one. It's the which? Wow, okay. So let's go ahead and open this up. I haven't had one since September 1988. I'm old. But I thought you'd enjoy that Army story. Okay. Oh, and this is from Nestle. It's chewy caramel, milk chocolate, and crispy crunchies. 100 grand from Nestle. Okay. So it looks like. Okay. Okay. See if it's any good. Very chewy from the caramel. Really chewy from the caramel. Oh my god. Now, one thing about this, I haven't had it such a long time, I don't even remember if I even liked it again, because I never got one again in all these years. I think that's too much caramel in there for me. I think that's what the main thing. But sometimes, some candy bars have just the right amount. Sometimes they have too much. It might be a little bit too much, but it does taste good. Wow. I don't know if people could, and there's not. I don't think there's lots of reviews for the 100-gram bar on YouTube. I could be mistaken though. I remember doing a retro review of the Clark bar. The Clark bar is still awesome. This is okay. I love the crunchies and the chocolate. I just think there's too much caramel in there for me. Oh, Tim just made some something that's cool. It's okay. Well, that's what I thought last time. Too much caramel, I'm guessing. I will say, some of these small ones that you eat real quick, and they go real quick, but you want a candy bar to last a little bit. Definitely get this because there's so much caramel in it. But I think it's decent candy bar. But it's too much caramel for me. I give the 100-gram candy bar a 7 out of 10. So I don't know how many people like the 100-gram or how many tried it. Because you never hear about the candy bar anymore. I saw it. I thought, oh man, I'll definitely try it out for the channel. And tell you my story. And that sticks to your teeth, what I don't like. That's why I stopped doing the Butterfingers thing. There's so much sticks to your teeth so bad, I don't want to do it anymore. So I hope you liked this little video, everybody. Until next time, please. Cameron Legion.